Let's watch this clip.
Participating in areas of black culture, and they are doing some of the most demeaning, degrading, despicable things to that culture. You are not having a conversation with a pure vessel of this. You're not. You're talking to a guy who worked at TMZ for 9 years, a place that did a lot of that same type of shit. But while I was there, do you know what I tried to do? I'll say this over and over again. I tried to protect the black cultural perception inside of TMZ. I tried to be a voice for our culture inside of there. I care deeply and love black people. What are we to do with people that are operating inside of this, or at least tangential to it, and being so disrespectful to things that we, not perfectly, not altruistically, but energetically value? If you want to have a whole conversation about whether or not we've valued black women enough, I'm here for it. If you want to have a whole conversation about whether our devaluing of black women has led to other people thinking that they can do that, I'm here for it. If we want all of these conversations, but fuck all that. We're talking about right now, in the here and the now, and not just this, but with other things. When we've said, yo, man, could you please not say that? Yo, man, could you please not do this? Yo, we don't appreciate this. Is another joint where Aiden Ross is giving some dude permission to say the N-word, saying you don't have to apologize.
Another white man permission to say the N-word.
So, like, what I'm saying is, like, what are we supposed to do? Because what it seems like, and this is the last little nugget I'll give, what it seems like is this. It seems like the way to get on as a white streamer is to get on your stream and call the entire community pussy. To say that your cultural rules don't matter, your values don't matter. None of that stuff matters. I can do whatever the fuck I want, and y'all not gonna do nothing. I get it. We can't stop these rappers that are next to Aiden Ross from going on and disrespecting the culture and disrespecting black women. It would be super awesome if Drake said something about this. It would be...
Can you stop an individual person from making an individual decision? No. But as a community, one of the ways in which we can flex our power is by not supporting them. It's real simple. They got a show, you don't go to it. They got music streaming, you don't listen to it. They got a project out, we don't talk about it. There are ways in which for us to kind of like regain our power inside of this whole thing. And it doesn't mean everyone's gonna do it, but if enough of us do it, it should send enough of a message. Like this whole notion that we lack power in this is kind of bunk.
Super awesome if the guys who are right next to him said something about this, but they can't, so they won't, should I say. So outside of this, what you want us to do? You know what used to happen? What used to happen is guys like Glasses, guys that sometimes we criticize and we don't like for the things that they say, they would see you disrespecting somebody granny on the street and they would smack the fuck out of you. That's what used to happen. And that's the way cavemen deal.
Did that happen? Yes. But that was not how it was always taken care of. And this notion that everything needs to resort to violence isn't true. A lot of the conversations that we've had, like even that I had like with my uncles, like one of my uncles growing up was, he leaned into me a little bit. He didn't threaten me with violence. He just had a conversation with me. And if I agree with it, great. If I didn't, he let me find out the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you do. And at least when Glasses said what he said, all he said was, I'm going to press the niggas around you. And for whatever reason, y'all are automatically interpreting that to be violence. No, pressing a motherfucker does not necessarily mean I gotta punch you in the face or slap you up or do any or threaten you or none of that shit. It literally means we need to have a conversation, and you better have a good enough reason and an explanation for why you're doing the shit that you're doing, for the harm that you're causing us, the children in our community, the future of our community, for the harm that you're causing. You better have a good enough explanation, goddammit. And if you don't want to go along with it, cool. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let you find out the hard way, and then we can reevaluate to see whether or not we're gonna let your ass back in or not. Do you see how that works? Like, it's real easy. This notion that it automatically goes to violence is interesting to me. I don't know why everybody automatically assumed just because Glasses is that type of street dude, that when he said he was going to press them niggas, that it automatically meant he's going to like slap a dude or shoot somebody or something along those lines. Like, why did y'all automatically jump there? Because I really did not go there. Like, it's crazy.
With shit, but what the fuck you want us to be? We're attempting to be gentlemen and you won't respect it. So like, if you don't respect a gentleman,
I don't know where he's talking about respecting gentlemen. Is he talking about the white man not respecting your gentlemanly behavior? Like, who are you talking about? Because it seems like he's conflating two different points. It's very strange. And if a white man doesn't respect you, I can't tell you how to handle that. I'm not a man. I really can't tell you how to handle that. Because some men are just like, nah, I'm gonna slap the shit out of him if you don't. And if that's how you feel, and if you you understand the system that we're in, and you're willing to take that risk, I can't sit here and tell you no. Other men will handle it differently. So I guess I'm trying, like, who is he talking about?
What the fuck do you want? What you want him to do? Can you please stop calling our sister a fat, smelly bitch? Can you please, brother? Can you please stop? No? Okay, now what?
No? Okay, now what? You walk the fuck out the room. If like I said, I'm not a man, so I don't know how some of y'all feel about that shit. Some of you might feel the need and the desire to knock his fucking teeth out. I can't tell you what to do. But the other option is to just leave the room and not put up with the disrespect. When you ask somebody to respect you, respect your community, respect your women, respect your children, and they don't do that, the bare minimum you can do is leave the fucking room, dog. Like, what is he on?
I agree with you. And as you said, we've had Glasses on this podcast, and you know I don't agree with everything Glasses says, but I agreed with every word he said when he was talking to Trap. I mean, every single word. I thought the funniest, and I'm with you, I don't condone violence. I thought the funniest thing he said was, you're going to run and call the cops? The cops come after the crime. Yeah. I don't follow him enough to that actually made me laugh out loud. But a part of this that is missing is, and it goes to, because that energy that you have obviously should be for the Aiden Rosses and the Neons and what other streamers have built up their audience by degrading the black community and particularly black women. All that energy should be for them, but that's
And another thing about this conversation, because everyone keeps focusing on like the black women aspect of it, because I'm noticing a lot of weird responses from black men, especially around Doechii. Oh, she said straight men are a red flag. As a woman who moves throughout this world, yes, all of you are red flags to us. And it's not because all of you are inherently dangerous. It's simply because the violence that we experience as women is most likely going to come from a man. I could sit up here and get in a woman's face and we can sit here and argue back and forth. Despite what you see on the housewife shit and the baddie shit, the odds of two women really getting into it like that to the point where they really got to fight is low. It's not as high as y'all think that it is. I'm not saying it's not higher amongst certain groups. If you want to start talking about the socioeconomic situation of it all, it could be higher amongst certain groups, depending, like maybe people who have like lower levels of income, maybe people who come from certain regions, maybe. But just in general, amongst women, we could argue, scream, and yell at each other, and the odds of us coming to blows are low. But when dealing with men, we have to be constantly aware of you. And some of you might take offense to that. I'm sorry, I don't have time to assuage your feelings right now. Because the reality of it is, my life matters to me, my health and safety matters to me, and the fact is, I am more likely to be harmed by a man than a woman. That's for women in general. And when you break it down by race, white women are more likely to be harmed by white men, and black women are more likely to be harmed by black men. That's just the truth of the matter. Whenever we have these discussions about harm, a lot of you weirdos who seem to be wanting to, in like roundabout ways, take up for like niggas like academics and Aiden and all of that, y'all start trying to shift the conversation. And one of the arguments that I've seen from men, online in particular, is that we don't want to get involved in it because he might hurt me too. Because like we'll see like an argument go down and it'll be a black woman and there'll be a bunch of black men around and they'll allow a black man to sit up there, get in her face, get aggressive, call her all sorts of names. And we're all sitting back going, why are y'all not doing anything? Because like for me, like I had my dad, I had my uncles, and they just didn't play about certain things. They just didn't allow certain things to happen. So when I see certain things go down and I see a bunch of men around and y'all not at least saying, hey bruh, cut that shit out. We not doing that right now. You need to go somewhere else. You ain't got to jump in front of the nigga's face and get all buck with him. Like I said, the desire, for whatever reason, there's a linkage in people's minds that it immediately needs to go to violence. And I don't know if that's like the white supremacist programming in y'all that y'all gotta like rethink. But a lot of the times it's literally a conversation that y'all can have amongst each other. But whenever we see that and we comment on it, you got these weird niggas who show up who'll be like, oh, well, I don't want to get involved because you see he's aggressive and he might hurt me or he might shoot me and then I'm dead and I can't take care of my family and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you're basically saying that you too are also wary about men, especially men who are in a more aggressive posture. You too are also scared of other men. Ain't that what y'all saying when y'all say that shit? So why is it so outside of the realm of possibility for a lot of you weird niggas to accept that for women, yes, you may not like how she phrased it, but you are effectively red flags. We do have to be more wary of you just in general and more aware of you just in general. If you know the potential danger that another man can cause to you, why do you not then understand the potential danger that another man can cause to a woman? You already know just in general the strength differential. So like, what's not clicking for y'all? And I honestly think a lot of this is because y'all agree with these niggas like Aiden Ross and these incel niggas like academics. Y'all hate women. Y'all are misogynist to your fucking core. You just hate women and you enjoy seeing women be degraded. You enjoy seeing women be harmed. You enjoy that shit. And then the other aspect of the misogyny is for a lot of you weird niggas when it comes to this white supremacist shit, y'all think that your misogyny allows you to be on the same level as a white man. It's like some of y'all are so desperate to be a part of white men and white male culture, even though you know racially they don't fuck with you. It's like you want to link up with them so bad, so you'll link up with them with the misogyny. And this is why we've gotten to this fucking point. So this whole notion when it relates to women, and it's not my job, you're a misogynist, my guy, and you hate women. You're upset about what Doechii said, and therefore she doesn't deserve protection. You're a misogynist and you hate women. And more to the point, you're a selfish son of a bitch and you don't need to be part of a community. Because being part of a community means you show up for everybody, goddammit. That's what the fuck that shit means. Your protection of black women and black children should not be conditional. There should be no fucking conditions on that shit, especially when you know you are surrounded by fucking enemies. What the fuck are you talking about? She called men a red flag. Why do we gotta protect her? Are y'all niggas like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy anyway.
I agreed with every word he said when he was talking to Trap. I mean, every single word. I thought the funniest thing, and I'm with you, I don't condone violence. I thought the funniest thing he said was, you're gonna run and call the cops come after the crime. I don't follow him enough. That actually made me laugh out loud. But a part of this that is missing is, and it goes to, because that energy that you have obviously should be for the Aiden Rosses and the Neons and what other streamers have built up their audience by degrading the black community and particularly black women. all that energy should be for them, but that's equal energy for all the people who have empowered and supported and uplifted the Aiden Rosses that have allowed them to feel comfortable enough to insert themselves in our culture in order to justify degrading a woman, and then know that a black man is going to have his back by shitting on another black man and then saying, I'll go ahead and call the other one on your behalf. And that's WAC 100. So when you're throwing in the young...
And that's the shit I'm talking about. There's this desire to be in proximity to white men. And it's like you're willing to sacrifice certain aspects of your community. And it's like you try to compartmentalize the shit by saying, oh, it's just this woman, or it's just that type of woman, or this woman doesn't deserve respect, or that woman doesn't deserve respect. And when y'all do that shit, it's like, whether you like it or not, you allow the floodgates to open.
And the Kodak Blacks and Drakes or the athletes like an Antonio Brown who are sitting next to Aiden Ross while he continues to shit on black people and okay it and normalize it. Aiden Ross doesn't feel like this because he's white. Aiden Ross feels like this because he has the support. Maybe there's some black women, I haven't seen it, but particularly from black men in order to do this. I'm sorry, I just gave you a list. I'm sorry. And I'm going to make this particular, and I'm going to go back to WAC 100, which is what I was saying. What a part of this that is missing. When Doechii, Aiden Ross has continuously degraded black women. Cardi, Doechii,
why is this nigga in his feelings? Like his energy is shifted. It's very strange.
Meg, the list goes on and on and on. So you in the clip that was just played, he called Doechii smelly. He took back fat. He called her dumb. He called her a bitch. All of these things, right? And this isn't a one-off. He continuously does this. He does it while he's sitting next to a black man. Doechii comes out with a song, never calls Aiden Ross by name. She just references being called an industry plant. He takes that as he's directly talking about me because as in that clip, he calls her a bot and he's saying that she's an industry plant. There's no way she's not successful, that she was able to get the accolades that she has and the followers and the money and the attention and all of that. So he thinks she must be talking about me. So he comes out with this diss song. What happens? Glasses Malone, as he should, is like, shut the fuck up and let me tell you why. And don't ever talk this way again. And if you do, I promise it's going to be exactly how he says in that clip. Aiden Ross calls WAC 100 somebody of the culture and says, hey, man, this guy Glasses, who WAC 100 then explains who Glasses is. This guy Glasses and Trap are talking about me. I need you to have my back. WAC 100 is like, don't fucking pay attention to Trap. He ain't nobody. Okay, so Aiden Ross is laughing at him. So now I don't know anything about Trap, but he's shitting on this black man and then allowing Aiden Ross to do the same thing, which he does when he gets off the phone with WAC 100. And then he allows his audience to do it. So again, he is normalizing the behavior to belittle the black community, black men, black women, then says, Glasses is family, I'll go ahead and talk to him. In no way in that conversation does WAC 100 hold Aiden Ross accountable for how he's talked about Doechii. He doesn't even ask, hey, why does Glasses have a problem with you? What's the deal? In no way.
And another thing about that whole clip that I remember that kind of like threw me for a loop for real, Aiden called WAC and WAC called that nigga nephew. And I'm sitting there like, at a bare fucking minimum, my guy, you've seen this man platform white supremacists like Nick Fuentes and Donald Trump. Even if you took his call, why did you call him nephew? Like he your family. Like, I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all.
It's the word of Aiden over everybody else. Of course Aiden feels like he can do all the things that he's done. Of course he feels like he can insert himself to the culture because the culture continues to back him up. And so if we're going to have this energy for Aiden, we got to have this energy for everybody who continues to answer his phone calls and have his back, for everybody who's going to sit next to him in a stream. Everybody can get it because the Aiden Rosses are...
And she's right. And that's kind of like my whole thing when I look at this whole situation. It's not so much that y'all got to really go after Aiden or any of these other fucking weirdos. Because at the end of the day, these motherfuckers are part of a white supremacist power structure. And Aiden's made it very clear because he keeps talking about, I got police around me. He's willing to use the force of the white supremacist legal system in order to protect himself. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the times, it's really just about us really coming to an understanding of who means us well and who doesn't. And removing their access to us. Remove their access to you, remove their access to your audience, remove their access to the community.
Created by the support of the people in the culture who allow him to do this. Sorry, it's the truth and you know it. It's a black man, a black woman, anybody who allows this to happen, we should all be getting the same energy.
If it was a black woman, we wouldn't be talking about it like this. We'd be finding ways
all
to
right,
excuse it.
well then fuck everything up.
Bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. If it was a black woman, we would not be finding ways to excuse it. How do I know? Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj, my guy. What the fuck are you talking about? And I don't even like the fact, and I've already said this, I don't even like the fact that y'all got a whole petition out there and as black people, y'all signed that shit on some weird-ass anti-immigrant wannabe MAGA type shit. But there's a whole petition with tens of thousands of people, a lot of them black people, who put their fucking names saying they want that lady deported. So what the fuck are you talking about, Van? That is absolute bullshit. Meanwhile, Jay-Z hosts a fundraiser and he has Ivanka and her weird-ass husband who's making deals with, like, was it Saudi Arabia, one of them countries, at his fundraiser. And he's choosing to sit next to these people. And we know how they get down. And we know that they're taking shots at us via the Civil Rights Act and all this shit. And we saw that man cozy up to the motherfuckers. And at no point did anybody say, we need to have that nigga's businesses investigated. This motherfucker wants to start a gambling casino or whatever. What are the odds that it's going to be in close approximation to a black community? To siphon money from black people? What are the odds? Let's be honest about it. No discussions around getting that shit shut the fuck down. None. Nicki Minaj sits on a stage. People drag her, which they're right to do. But in addition to that, They were trying to get her deported. So what the fuck are you talking about, Van? And this is the shit where I'm talking about. There's a misogyny inside the black community when it comes to black men who do weird fucked up shit that put us in danger for whatever reason. Even though we see it and we can acknowledge it and talk about it, there's really no consequences for them niggas. Where's the consequence for Nelly? He's still touring. He had a pretty high grossing tour for hip hop artists. One of the highest grossing tours. Why? Why is he even on the list with Kendrick? That's a question. Ice Cube doing all his weird shit, talking about a platinum plan for Black America. I ain't even like the title. Talking about, I'm gonna go sit down with Donald Trump. Nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? Kodak Black, another one. Why are y'all still supporting these niggas? Did y'all ever give them any fucking consequences? Serious conversation. So this notion that if it's a woman, black woman, we're not gonna, that's bullshit. And when Van says that type of shit, honestly, he sounds like a fucking insult to me. This notion that somehow women have all these special privileges in society, bitch, no the fuck we don't. No the fuck we don't. I don't know why men think that women have these special privileges. We do not. The amount of sexism that y'all have, the fact that you having a penis automatically gets you more money than me. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dog? At a certain point, can we just be honest? Women getting special privileges only really occurs if she fits a particular role. And even the fact that she fits into that role, when you really look at what it means for her, it's not a good thing. Y'all, for whatever reason, y'all think it's a good thing because y'all think that men treat women good. But in general, no. Y'all really, like, I'm sorry to point this out, and y'all can be mad about it. Y'all really don't treat women well. Even the women who fit into the mold that y'all got, y'all don't treat them well. Like, it's very exploitative. And as a community who has been used and exploited, why would y'all want to exploit a woman? As a black man, why would you ever want to exploit a woman? Why would you ever want to take advantage of a woman? You see how these motherfuckers treat you? Why would you ever want to think or be like them? Like, anyway, keep going.
I just said.
I'm not saying fuck everything you're saying. What I'm saying is this. Number one.
That's not the point.
I'm not making that the point. In this situation right here, the point that's being made right here is how fucked up the black men are. I did not glaze over that. But in this situation, it is a black man that is standing up for black women. It is. It's a black man that is standing up for black women.
There is a black man standing up for black women. And another thing that I've noticed, a lot of y'all say that shit as if we're supposed to give you credit for the shit that he did and the shit that he said. No, that's not how that works. We'll give the men credit who actually do the work. But those of you who just want to be lazy, who think it's not that big of a deal, who want to be misogynist, who want to hate women, who want to hate other black men, we're not giving you niggas credit for shit. You don't get credit by standing next to them niggas. You're not going to get credit for the work that the other men put in. Y'all not gonna use Glasses as an example of black men standing up for black women in totality. Y'all not gonna do that. We'll give Glasses credit where it's due for him. But you're not gonna be able to ride that nigga's coattails or any other black man's coattails who has a similar ideology. Not gonna happen. You either do the work too or not. Like, that's just how this goes down. Like,
a black man that a lot of other times we ain't got no use for. Not pure enough for us. Not perfect enough for us. Don't work for us. Got too many bad people.
A black man we don't have a use for. I don't even know what the fuck you mean by that. A black man we don't have a use for? Like, what does he mean by that? He's saying, feels like he is playing in a lot of stereotypical tropes, racist tropes, mainly created by white people about us. He's playing in that shit when he's having this conversation. And he's dancing around it without being, like, direct. And I don't like it. But
when you need somebody to go in somebody's mouth over something, that's the type of nigga you're going to call. That's the kind of guy that's going to do that, right? Because a lot of your other super guys not going to do that. There's a black man that's standing up for a black woman. We are having this conversation because a black man said enough. Now, if we want to have another conversation where we talk about all of the insufficiencies and the weaknesses that exist in black men, that is completely okay. I was not going to discuss that without talking about the fact that part of the reason why Aiden Ross feels so comfortable doing that is because it's been codified by some black man. You can't have a conversation without talking about that. But right now, to me, the conversation with Wack, that didn't even work. It's like, there are a lot of ways and places that you could criticize Wack. In this situation, Wack picked up the phone. I talked to Glasses. It didn't even go that way. That's not even what happened. Glasses and Wack had a conversation. Wack wasn't even on it like that. I have no connection to Wack. Don't know Wack like that at all. No, in no way, shape, or form. Like, in no way, shape, or form. In no way. I'm not about to defend nobody. I'm not defending him in any type of way. I'm not defending any of the guys that are alongside Aiden Ross. If we want to have a conversation about black men and about the way we treat black women, like I said before, I'm here for it.
No, you're not here for that conversation because she just brought this shit up and you completely shut her down and ignored her. So stop fucking lying, saying that you're here for a conversation when you just shut the conversation down. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, what are you doing?
Right now is about this white boy that called this woman a smelly bitch.
You can't talk.
And to me, what we end up doing in perpetuity, and I gotta be honest with the audience, man. I have to be honest with you guys. In the past, I haven't. I'm sick and fucking tired of being a cultural whipping boy.
What?
Nigga, how is this about you? When did you show up to the conversation? He telling on himself at this point, man.
Single fucking time. I do not.
Why on earth would you put yourself in the same? I'm talking about a particular. No, but you're not all the same. You're not all the same.
In this situation right here, it is a black man that is coming to the defense.
Two things can be true. Two things can be true.
You are a black man, and Glasses Malone is a black man who's coming to the defense of the community and black women in particular, but that don't mean you're the same. You're not the same. Black men are not a monolith. Are you goofy? Like, what are you talking about?
Two things can be true. Glasses is not. I literally just up glasses. I literally just said every single word he
Rachel,
said. Both things can be true.
You spent a lot more time talking about the black man that was
Because you have to talk about why Aiden. Why you have to talk about why.
Yes. And see, Van on that weird shit. Why did you spend so much time talking about the black men who are responsible for Aiden Ross and the black men who was defending Doechii? Because there is more of the black men who are responsible for Aiden Ross than there are of the black men like glasses. That's why. That is the fucking problem, my guy. You are under the belief system that there's more men like glasses than not. I don't believe that shit. Because if more men like glasses who, I don't know him or whatever problematic ass shit he's got into, but if there are more men like glasses who have some type of personal ethos that I'm not going to allow you to disrespect my community and I'm not going to allow you to disrespect the women in my community, a lot of the shit that we're dealing with, Aiden, none of these niggas would have never gotten put on. Keep it a stack. If the majority of black men in the community had that personal ethos and were vocal about it and actually acted on it, in a consistent manner, we would not be having this conversation because Aiden would never have gotten in the first fucking place. That is the problem, Van. And this is the shit that I'm saying. A lot of you niggas want credit for the work of other men. That's not what's going to happen. You are not going to get credit because you standing next to the nigga who did the work. The fuck are you talking about? He in his fucking feelings. And he telling on himself. He's more upset with Rachel because she wants to talk about the men in the community who are a fucking problem. We have a white supremacist in the fucking White House, and we are surrounded by enemies. The men who allowed the disrespect of our community, the men who allowed the disrespect of the women in our community, the same women who birthed you niggas, they are a problem. They're a problem, and they gotta be handled. And for you to be upset that we want them niggas handled, the fuck are you talking? Like, what the fuck are you on? And I'm not saying that Van is the type of dude who actively engages in the same behavior as those men who want to sit up in Aiden Ross's video as a background dancer like Puffy and shit. No, I'm not saying he's like them. He's the type of man who will see that shit happen and ignore it. I ain't got nothing to do with me, so I ain't gonna say nothing. That's Van. And niggas who move like that, you're a problem too. If you're like, most black men don't engage in that shit, okay, cool. But most of you ignore that shit when it occurs. You don't even think, I need to remove myself from this situation. Or I need to no longer give them my attention. Or let me post something on social media calling out the fuck shit. These are things that require little to no effort. Y'all just ignore it and let the shit go. And then it like snowballs and festers. And then you got these niggas thinking the shit is acceptable. No. And I'm realizing a lot of you do nothing ass niggas are in your feelings because you know you don't do shit. You know you don't have the courage to do shit. And when you see niggas like Glasses who do have the courage to do shit, who do have the courage to tell another black man, hey, we not on that shit today. When y'all see them niggas actually move how they move, it upsets you because you know you can never measure up to who the fuck they are. It makes you feel less than. And bitch, you should feel less than because you are less than. I'm not here to help you deal with your ego. I don't give a fuck. I'm here to tell you, yes, you're less than, bitch. You're not as good as that man is. You're not going to get credit just because you're standing next to the nigga. No. You
have to be able to rate it. If you were talking about a particular type, I'm not saying you're
say it, finish the sentence.
If you were talking about a particular type of black woman, I wouldn't necessarily, I don't think that I'm like that. The fact that you're turning this into a black man, black woman thing, you can't talk about Aiden Ross without talking about that he has been empowered by a particular group of black men. That ain't you. That's not Glasses. That's why Glasses stood on.
I would disagree. It is him to some extent because I think he's telling on himself. Like I said, I don't think he's one of the men who would actively engage in that type of shit, where he would be supportive of it. But I do think that he's the type of dude who would be prone to ignore it. I think he's the type of dude who he would try, instead of actively addressing it and talking about it and having the conversation, he's the type of nigga who's going to try to shift the conversation to another topic, which again is him ignoring it.
Business and talked about it in this way.
I appreciate that. Give me the specific type of black woman that I could talk about.
I don't know. I got to sit and think about an example of how.
And that's part of the issue. Both of you are having a hard time. Well, let's see. Maybe he'll have an example.
Because that's not true.
Okay, Van, I don't want to turn it into this. I'm just going to let you talk.
Because that's not true. What you just said, give me the specific type of black woman that I can hold up to criticism and say black woman.
Okay, I'm not a black woman. Okay, well, we talked about it on this podcast. I'm not a black woman who's going to glorify whiteness. There are black women who do that. And if you said that, I wouldn't say you're talking about me. Because I know that's not me.
But you know what, though? I wouldn't do that. So the reality...
we wouldn't be having a topic, and you wouldn't say that there are black women who do this. We literally kind of...
Hold on. Wait a second. If I'm talking about a black woman that holds up whiteness, I'm saying Candace Owens, and I'm saying only Candace Owens, right? Let me finish this. I'm saying, and I apologize to the listeners for cutting Rachel off. If I'm talking about a black woman that upholds whiteness, I'm saying Candace Owens, and I'm talking about Candace Owens. I'm saying Sage Steele, and I'm talking about Sage Steele. Mm-hmm. I'm saying Dashiki Lady, and I'm talking about her, and I'm being specific in my criticism about her. And I'm not going to say, hey, we need to talk about these black women that go around, because if I wanted to talk about it, Omarosa, Diamond and Silk, like...
But why wouldn't you, though? And I don't know too many black women who are going to take offense if you did. because we know what you're talking about. Like, we know that all black women are not a monolith, right? We know that there are a variety of different black women out there. So like, why wouldn't you? Like, I don't understand.
Whoever, a litany of them.
You name them.
Like a litany of them. I'm going to name them. I'm going to talk about them. I am not going to connect any of what they got going on to being black ladies. Because the moment that you do that, the conversation is going to fall apart. Now, let me...
No, it doesn't. I don't know what this is. I don't know. Sit with this one for a second. Hold on. Okay, I figured it out. He doesn't want to be held responsible for the behavior of other black men. And when I say responsible, what I mean by that is he doesn't want to be tasked with the job of getting those other black men, quote unquote, under control. Because in his mind, to do that means he has to engage in violence for whatever fucking reason. And that scares him. He doesn't seem to understand that a lot of the times it's literally just a conversation. And if the conversation fails sometimes, like with my uncle, you just got to let him find out the hard way, and then you can revisit it and have the conversation again. Or if none of that shit works and they just being hard-headed, a lot of times you just got to remove them from your friend group. This fear that some of y'all have about, I guess, talking about black men in general, I think a lot of it stems from the fact that that you as men have the ability to control and to direct the actions of other men, but you don't want to actually do that job. And for a lot of you, especially the misogynist amongst you, it's easier for you to flex your power or your authority or whatever it is that you think you have as a man on women and children than it is to flex that against another man. Because other men scare you. I really think this boils down to the fact that he's afraid of other men.
Say this.
I totally listed off black men, but keep going.
Let me say this. Do I understand that there's a difference here? That there's a difference when having this conversation and the frustration that black women feel with black men? I do. I completely understand it. I do. You didn't say rappers. You didn't say streamers. You said the other black men. And guess what? I did too.
I said Young Thug. I said Kodak. I said Antonio Brown. I said Drake. I said the black man sitting next to him.
I know, but like this conversation, and we can run it back or look at it or whatever, you're talking, we have to talk about the black man. We always have to talk about the black man. Even in this situation where a black man is the hero of the story, it's important to understand that the main takeaway is that black men are responsible for this. And look, I'm sorry, I apologize to the audience. I do. I culturally think with a collectivist mindset. I shouldn't. Culturally, I think with a collectivist mindset. I think if you say something and then you say black women, I go, wait a minute. If you say something and you say black fathers, I go, wait a minute. The only time that wait a minute is improper is when you're talking about black men. And then I'm just supposed to go, as much as I've done it and as much as we all have to do it, we have to take stock. I'm supposed to go, yeah, they're not talking about me. It's hard to do. I apologize to the audience. I apologize to Rachel.
If it's hard to do, then you have some self-reflection that you need to go through, man. That ain't nobody's issue. You can have conversations about black women who engage in certain behaviors and da-da-da-da-da. I'm only going to feel a way about it if I engage in the same behaviors, honestly. Like, you want to have a conversation about black women who uphold white men? Like, I just watched a video the other day, like, just recently, about a black woman going in on black women. She didn't make any, she didn't say any specific names. Like, she showed some video clips to illustrate her point. But I just saw a video recently about a black woman going in on other black women and about them allowing disrespect from men. And in some cases, encouraging disrespect from men. Some of those men were black and some of those men were white. And because I'm not a black woman who's okay with disrespect from men, and I will remove you niggas from my life when y'all do that shit, I didn't feel a fucking way about it. But I do know that there are black women out there who will allow that disrespect and that them chicks are a problem for me and other black women in totality. I do. Whether the disrespect comes from a black man or the disrespect comes from a white man. If it comes from a white man, you're adding a whole nother layer onto that shit. But I didn't feel a way about that shit when she said black women do this and black women do that, because I know I'm not one of them chicks. I'm not internalizing that shit. But I also know those women exist. I'm not ignorant to the fact that those women exist. And I know that those women who allow disrespect, when it comes to women and womanhood in general, I know those chicks are a problem for us. And the shit does need to be talked about. Not so much so because I think I can control what them other women do, but more so because the young girls who are listening, who may listen to me or talk to me, I need to make sure that they don't repeat those same problematic ass behaviors.
To the audience, I apologize to Rachel. I don't mean to be overbearing. It's hard to do, especially in this situation right here. I've acquiesced to that. I understand the criticism, but like, the black man is the hero of the story if you call this being a hero. And it's
a black man is the hero of the story, yes. A black man is getting a lot of credit and validation and love because of what he did, yes. The black man, no. I'm sorry. And this is the shit again. You cannot take credit for the work of another black man. It's not happening. I think Van is in his feelings because he knows he doesn't have the ability or maybe even the desire. I don't know. But he doesn't really have the ability to do and to stand on some shit in the way that Glasses Malone is able to stand on some shit. And I think that's bothering him.
Because we just don't talk about, because we go in depth when we talk about conversations. You can't just say, Glasses fired back, and that was so great. We get into the who, what, when, where, and why. And the why of Adin Ross exists because particular people have made him feel empowered. Now, I offered a list of people. I am unaware of another gender that has been there. And there may have been. I don't watch Aiden Ross. But when I did my research, that's all I could find. And so I'm just saying there's a particular type of person that allows this. And it's a shame. But yes, thankful, which I started off with talking about it. But the why to me is the important part.
And I don't understand this constant need to like cater to his emotions and his ego right now, because he's a grown fucking man. We're all grown adults. We can all have these conversations without getting in our feelings about this shit, and I do not understand it. And the only reason, again, I think the men who are in their feelings, who do feel a ways about it, in my opinion, I think is because y'all feel inadequate compared to the men who are able to do it. And then for whatever reason, you want to shift responsibility or shift the focus onto women. No, this is a you problem, dog. You feel inadequate because you probably are inadequate. I don't know what else to tell you. Again, we have a white supremacist in the White House. Like, it's all hands on deck. And we all got to sit there and ask ourselves, what are we willing to do? What are you actually willing to do? And you got to be honest about that. Glasses said he is literally willing to go to jail just so he could slap the shit out of Aiden Ross. He said that shit. And if you feel inadequate because you don't want to do that, then okay, you're inadequate. I don't know what else to say. I would also argue you don't have to slap a dude. I would argue that there are a multitude of ways to be supportive of your community without having to resort to any type of violence. I mean, I personally think, since we're having this conversation, the community needs to ask itself a very simple question. And the question is this: what can I do to improve the lives of the children in my community, in my vicinity? And I do not mean just your kids, just your son, just your daughter. No, I'm not talking about your immediate family or even your extended family. I'm talking about what can you do as a father, as a mother, to improve the lives of the friends of your sons and daughters? What can you do to improve the lives of your neighbor's kids? Even if you don't like them motherfuckers, you should at least have sympathy and empathy for the children, right? Like, that should be our fucking focus, man. And it doesn't take a ton of money to do it. A lot of times it's effort and energy, and you using your brain to figure out, I may not have a ton of money because of the fucked up nature of the system that we're in. Everybody, we all understand that. We all exist in the black community, no matter how much money we got. We understand the limitations and the bullshit that every one of us has to go through. So it's not always about money. But since you don't have the money, now you get to use your brain. Now you get to ask yourself, what can I do and how can I do it? There was one person on here, I think her name is Woke Gardner. She made a pantry in her little neighborhood. It's just a small little pantry that she put out in the neighborhood. And all she does is crowdfund from the people that she knows and people, because she has a YouTube page. She crowdfunds from the viewers, and she stocks that pantry with goods and for the people who need it. So if they need diapers, we got diapers. You need food goods, we got food goods, right? You need access to materials and books for educational purposes, we got some of those too. Like, there are things you can do that don't require a ton of money. It don't require you to give so much of yourself financially, but it will require that you give of yourself in other ways. I think I'm over this conversation.